Thanks for taking the time today to join us ahead of our game in Halifax this weekend. We have head coach Mike Hasen with us, so I will start with one question, and then we will go around. After my one question, we will jump to Adam, and then I'll use the chat feature here on Zoom to just kind of go through the order the rest of the way. So, um, Hazer, I guess to start it off, you're playing the same team on back-to-back weeks. What adjustments can you make from a pretty wild game in Rochester?
Yeah, I think the biggest adjustment we got to make is our back end there. Again, they took advantage of us being in between a lot, so we just got to make sure that we're dictating, we're putting our feet forward, and we're using them to go forward versus the gaps we allowed and they took advantage of at the end of the day there, and then yeah, hopefully offensively we can carry the same load.
Adam, have at it.
Perfect, Coach. Thank you so much again. Good to see you. So obviously a heartbreaking loss last week on the home floor. 1-3 on the home floor so far this season. Obviously, very passionate Rochester fans. I know that you want to do more winning on that home floor. So, what can you say to the fans who are hungry for more wins in Rochester?
Yeah, it's coming. I think at the end of the day, we got the faith in what we're doing there. Again, it was an exciting game, and we know we got areas to clean up, and we're cleaning them up, and we'll be better next time we're home next week against Colorado. We'll be better starting this week in Halifax.
And I know that this is going to be the eighth game for you guys, and there's 18 games in a season, but falling to 2-6 would be a considerable hole considering the unified standings and the way things are looking. Are you guys nearing a kind of make or break, do or die territory?
I think this one is really important. Dropping two. Uh, the signings will be tight. You say if we drop to 2-6, crazier things have happened at the end of the day. So we're still focusing on this one here. But yeah, this is a big one to say the least. It's like say back to back with these guys. The fall 0-2 as far as the standings is concerned, as far as head to head competition goes, it makes it tougher to climb that hole to climb out of the hole. But at the end of the day, we're not necessarily worrying about make or break our season. We're just going to be our best version of ourselves this weekend, and that's what we're going to focus on, and that's what we're going to be.
One of the guys that has been the best version of himself so far is Ryan Lanchbury, on pace to have career highs in goals, assists, points, and loose balls recovered. What can you say about the effort and the impact that he's made on the team so far?
Yeah, again, he's got a comfort level and he's got a confidence in his game right now. And again, yeah, he has been the most consistent guy. I don't think he scored last week, if I'm not mistaken, but like he's creating. He sees the floor so well. When he gets his opportunity to shoot the ball, he's shooting the ball really well as well. And yeah, he's got a different confidence and the ball's in the stick more often than not, which is good. It allows Smitty to play a little more free and get make it a little more havoc, create a little more havoc on the defensive side of things. That they got to worry about where big body Smitty is and without the ball versus him having the ball carried a little more often than he more than you or less than usual, I guess, at the end of the day here. So, but yeah, Lance is playing really well, playing with confidence, and again, his teammates are getting an opportunities that he's able to find them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not going to score, having 7 assists doesn't hurt. So
No,
it's
100%.
just finally for you, there's a lot of great shooters on this team. When it comes to shooting accuracy and picking the corners, if you had to have one guy go up against Pat Gregoire in a game of tic-tac-toe shooting, who would your guy be to go against Pat?
It might even be me at the end of the day here, but nah, you know what? Lance is probably the most consistent. I'm not sure necessarily he's going to break every balloon with his shot, but he's going to hit it anyways, and we'll go from there.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Coach.
No problem. Thanks.
Sam, you're up. And again, I just put in the chat here. If anybody has questions for Ryan Lanchbury or Taylor Jensen, they're in here as well. Just please clarify if you are asking a question to them versus Mike Hasen.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good there, Sam. How about yourself?
Good, thank you. Good. Can you talk a little bit about some of the positives that you saw coming off of the game this past week against Halifax, and what are you kind of looking to do a little bit differently in the next game? I know you a little touched about that a little bit before, but specifically, really, what you're kind of doing, to really get on top of this next one here.
Yeah, I think the couple positives are offensively. We, like I say, we had a couple little dry spells, but they didn't panic and they didn't get away from it. And they just continually to, again, we talk about going downhill, and they played downhill most of the night and got rewarded for it and got 18. I loved, you talk about that face-off battle going into the game. It was great to see Sisselberger go up against one of the best in Jake. And again, the two battled all night long. And again, the improvement side of things is our feet. We want to make sure we're moving forward in the right direction, closing gaps. Taking away time and space basically from their offensive players. We, as I mentioned, we were in between a lot of stuff, and if you give any one of those guys time and space, they know what to do with the ball, and they definitely did. So we're going to be better defensively. The other thing too I'd liked is again from the face-off is our energy. Again, we contributed 8 transition goals on 18 shots, so we were good energy pushing forward. That again made it a little easier on our O to chip away 5 at 5 as well.
Is it difficult when you play a team back to back weeks, especially you're going from home to away and playing them back to back when you've just seen them, or what type of adjustments do you have to make in that situation?
You know what? I don't think it's necessarily tough. Again, I know we're talking about our adjustments, but I'm sure they're at the same time talking about their adjustments that you got to make, because I'm sure they don't like the 18 we put on them either, right? So it's a bit of a chess match, and again, we're concentrating on us and what we got to do, what we think we need to do against these guys, and that's our focus. And at the end of the day, we're going to see at the end of 60 minutes if it worked or not.
And last one from me. You talked about you're definitely pleased about the face-offs. What's your overall thoughts of Mike here after 2 games, and how is he adjusting to playing in the NLL?
Yeah, he's getting a little more comfortable, and again, he's having success, which is good for him, which is good for us. And yeah, I said it. I think early, he is a very confident in what he's going to do, and so far, his confidence is matching his output. And he's he's allowed us to have a lot more energy in that back end. Again, we're allowed to play hopefully this weekend better D 5-on-5, but also turn around and counter that and start our offense right off the bat as well. So yeah, again, it's worked out for this last 2 games, and on to the next one.
Coach, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
No problem, Sam. Thanks.
We're just going to quickly jump back to Adam, who has a question for Taylor Jensen, and then we will go back in order.
Taylor, Adam Levy, how you doing?
Good, Adam. How are you?
I'm really good. Just one quick question for you. So, when it comes to the face-offs, in the NLL, also collegiately, you weren't a face-off guy, but you took the responsibility of taking on the battles at the dot up until Sisselberger came in. Take me through what that experience was like for you, and do you think you have a future in the face-off, or are you happy that Sisselberger's here?
I'm pretty happy that Sisselberger's here, right? I offered to take face-offs because I was a bit worried about my spot on the team, and I thought it could add value to myself. It's also, I just like getting ground balls. I like working hard, and I like kind of that aspect of the game, so I thought I'd be good at it. I learned a little bit in college about taking faceoffs when our draw guy wasn't doing so well, so that's kind of how I wanted to do it. But I enjoyed taking them. I enjoyed fighting for the loose ball. I'm very happy that we have Sisselberger on the team now, though.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Do we want to go ahead with Pete? Pete or Pat? If you guys have any questions for.
Sure. Yeah. Morning. Yeah, I got a quick question for Hazer. As a player, Mike, were you ever involved in one of those crazy, last shot kind of wins 19-18 games? And what's the difference between coaching a game like that and playing in a game like that?
You know what? I don't remember. Yeah, I can't put my finger on it, to tell you the truth. I know there's a lot of tight games. I'm not sure if it was ever 1918. It's a lot of 7-6, 8-7 type games more often than not. I do remember our championship against Toronto. I think it was 8-6. Toronto beat us in Rochester one year, and I think
Hazer.
Yeah.
2000 NLL finals, bud.
Which one was that? That was the Toronto one, right?
Caleb Toth, 1 second left.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, look at that one. That's going way back.
Yeah.
Holy crow!
There's that one, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there is that one.
I try to forget that one too.
Well, we can't forget that one. Patty will never forget that one because it's on the War on the Floor still, right? So that's going way back. Actually, yeah. Thanks on that. We should have called Toth an illegal stick to got that goal thrown away if I was. So as a coach, I'll remember to make sure I call an illegal stick if anything like that ever happens in a big, huge game.
Save that one for later. Yeah.
Save that one for later. But no. But yeah, well, thanks. Yeah, that's Ripper. Yeah, right out of the memory. So yeah, that one was tight, and I remember I was on top of the 605. I was on top there, and it was either Colin Doyle or Caleb Toth. And again, I leaned towards Colin, and Caleb just ripped it. And I know his eyes were closed because I watched it. But anyways, and then as far as the coach goes, it's one of those ones. You look at the one side of the floor and you're going F me, and you're looking at the other side of the floor and going, okay, keep going. But it was entertaining. Like I say, it's frustrating because we know we're better than that defensively, so much better than that. But it's also rewarding at the same time that our offense can bail us out, and it's just a matter of how we move forward here as a group, making sure both sides of the floor, all of us are all on the same page, doing, playing at the best of our ability. And that's kind of what we focused on Tuesday, and that's what we're going to look to do here Saturday.
Okay. Thanks. Couple quick questions. One for Ryan and Taylor. I always like to ask the guys. I'll start, I guess, with Ryan. Is there something we don't know about you? Like, it's something interesting, a fun fact that even a guy like Adam might not know, because he knows a bit about everybody, but something that might surprise us, like a hidden talent or anything like that?
Oh, man. Wish I was more interesting and had some more hidden talents. No,
Famous
I mean,
relative? Anything?
no, I mean, I would say not famous relative, but my great grandfather Chuck Davidson is in the Canadian Lacrosse Hall of Fame. So that's I guess that's where it got started for my family in the lacrosse world. Kind of passed down to my grandpa, my dad, and I. So long list of lacrosse players.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Taylor, what about you?
Yeah, I wear my heart on my sleeve, right? I don't really have any. My life is lacrosse and my daughter. Growing up, I played soccer a lot. That's one thing that not a lot of people know, I think. But yeah, I think that's about it.
High level soccer?
Yeah, decent. I mean, it was called it gold level in high school. We won provincials one year, and that's about So
okay, got it. Great, thanks, guys.
Pat or Mackie, do you guys have anything for either Lanchberry, Jensen, or Hazer?
Yeah, pardon the background noise. I'm just in the shuttle on my way to the airport now. But this one's first for Coach Hasen. Coach, In your playing days or even your coaching days, have you ever had a uh, player, a forward, be able to lead your team in loose balls this deep into the season, and not just on your team, but in the entire league?
Uh, who are we talking about? Fieldsy, I'm going to assume.
Yeah, he's currently leading the league in loose balls, which I think is pretty remarkable considering he's a forward.
Yeah, no, and that's one thing. That's one thing Fieldsy does so well. He just anticipates where that ball is going to go off his shots. And again, he like I say, he knows where to go. He gets and he goes and gets them at the end of the day here. So no, not that I can remember playing with anybody. Maybe one of my teammates, Teddy Dowling, he shoots and he always goes forward as well back in the day. But yeah, Fieldsy just has a knack for it, and sometimes it's really frustrating as a coach. But more often than not, he's coming up with it. So sometimes you gotta live and die by his athleticism and his play.
Awesome. I appreciate that. This one's here for Ryan. As a offense that puts up 18, you guys are unable to come out with a victory. Was there anything you feel like the offense could have done more? Maybe not just putting the net in, anything else to help out the defense and grind out a win?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it at practice. We as an offense weren't great getting off the floor. They had a lot of transition opportunities. I think Coach Hayes said they had 4 goals, but they had a lot more chances. So yeah, we could have helped our defense a little more in that aspect. Yeah, I think ball management at the end of the game, that's on me. Try to take a risk and throw it to Smitty, who was slipping his guy and going right down the center. He was kind of naked, but it was a risky play I made, and they picked it off and ended up getting the last possession of the game. So, there's little things like that throughout the game that kind of stack up and add on. And no matter how many goals you score, you can always look back at the game and kind of critique yourself, critique your offense as a whole, and say we can be better, and next game we can put up more goals and make fewer mistakes.
Awesome. I really appreciate it, guys. Good luck this weekend. We'll see you in Halifax.
I believe Mackie is our only one left. If you want to send us home with a couple of questions.
Yeah, I'll jump in. Mike, I'll start with you. I know you kind of touched on, how it's kind of a game of chess, going back to back, but, with unified standings, a lot of like tiebreakers and everything can kind of come into effect. Do you kind of think about that when you go into a game like this?
I know my boss does. Um, but yeah, to a certain degree, like you look at that, you kind of like say you look at a schedule when it first comes out in September, you go, okay, we got to do this, got to be here type deal. But for us as a group, I think just playing with confidence is the most important thing. We can't worry about standings at the end of the day. They're going to be what they're going to be. We can put ourselves in a better position by playing the game the way we know we can play for 60 minutes as a total group. And I'm a true believer. If we do that, everything will work itself out. And we'll see at the end of 60 minutes. That's the way I look at it. Just let's be our best for 60 minutes, and what happens, happens.
Yeah. You guys have played a ton of games, and you don't have a bye until week 11. Do you feel like kind of that consistency of play has given you guys an advantage to progress, or do you see any sort of disadvantages with the way that your guys' schedule has kind of played out thus far?
Again, you look at that schedule and you go, okay, if we get on a roll, let's keep on rolling. If we stumble, it'd be nice to get a bit of a break, but it is what it is. Like we say, we took a little bit of a break regarding practices through the Christmas holidays, and focus was on family. So that was our break. Like the schedule is, we got to play 11 weeks in a row. So we just got to go and play 11 weeks in a row and be our best. And yeah, we're going to grow and we're going to develop. That's what we're going to do through the entire year at the end of the day, right? So would I like to break at some point to sort of get away from it? Probably. But at the end of the day, we're in the midst of it, and we're going to grind ourselves all the way through. And that's got to be our focus.
I know you kind of talked a little bit about the defense and kind of where that's maybe an area that you wanted to see the most adjustments going into this weekend. But what sort of specifics from that back end do you feel like kind of need to change in order to contain the Halifax offense a little bit more?
Biggest thing for us is our gap control, and taking away time and space. That's got to be a big focus. Again, big bodies out there that sometimes impose their will, but if we can get on hands a lot quicker, we'll be able to hopefully put them in spots where we feel more comfortable. That gives our goal defenders a better opportunity to stop the ball.
Now your guys' defense plays in a way that again kind of allows you to get those opportunities in transition, a few goals kind of coming out of the back end. What kind of advantages do you feel like that gives your team as a whole to not necessarily rely on the offense so much?
Yeah, again, if we can get going right from the get go and get downhill, and it just those ones you could like to call those ones as easy ones. They're hard work really at the end of the day, but it just sort of takes that added pressure of okay, we gotta grind, shift in, shift out at 5-on-5 as an offensive group, and we're built to do that as well. We know we're going to score 5-on-5 and we're going to grind those guys down, but at the end of the day too, those again, I'll call it with very loosely easy ones, allow for us to, get some momentum and keep some momentum. Again, with Sisselberger here, again, against Jake, it's a 50-50 draw, but we feel the last couple of games we're able to get the ball back to hopefully continue that momentum. So it's just a big builder, and yeah, that's the philosophy that we have. We want to create from back end moving forward, get our offenses those touches, and whichever way it comes, it's yeah, those ones are added bonuses for us.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Ryan, I'll move over to you. Again, kind of talked about you earlier on in this call, just about how you've kind of exploded, it seems like this season, in terms of your production and consistency. For yourself, where do you feel like this has kind of come from? What about this team has allowed you to kind of find that consistency so far this year?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a couple ways to look at it. I think from a personal standpoint, I put in a ton of work in the off season. My whole life I've always been the kind of guy who would have my stick in my hand, all throughout the summer, any chance I could, and that stuff came pretty natural to me. But if I'm being completely honest, I never put too much effort into the weight room. This summer I did a lot of that. I ate, a very strict diet. Kind of took that side of the game a lot more seriously. So I think that kind of just helped give me, a bit of a physical and mental edge on my first two seasons. But at the end of the day, this offense is super fun to play with. There's guys that do a little bit of everything. You got guys like Fieldsy who plays probably more similar to myself. More of a ball carrier. Then you got T-Mac and Smitty and so many other guys who are going to do all these little things. They're going to get in the middle. They're going to work off ball. When they get their opportunity, like they're going to play the back of the net. And I think we're a really cohesive group who works well together. We're a super, super close group as well. We're constantly talking in a group chat, sending film clips, what we can do better. So I think it's definitely just part of that as well. When you're in a really good system with good people, it's easier to thrive.
Awesome. Thank you. Now I know that you played a little bit of junior with Ryan Smith, and I know you guys are pretty good friends, kind of going into another season with him. What's it been like for you to kind of be able to watch each other grow, inside the box and, find so much success with one another at the pro level now?
Yeah, definitely very cool. I think it's been talked about, a pretty decent amount that me and Smitty are best friends and have been for a really long time, and spent like every day together growing up, and didn't really think we'd get the chance, just being both like high draft picks, and then also it didn't work out for me in Georgia my first year, and was thrilled to get an opportunity in Rochester, and to be able to hang out with him every week and be roommates with him. That's awesome. But seeing Smitty kind of evolve into Team Canada player and one of the best players in the world, definitely one of the best goal scorers in the world. It's really cool because growing up he was always a good player, but I don't think he was looked at very heavily until maybe his fourth year junior or so. And I always thought, he was awesome. He just was a small kid out there. And then once he kind of hit that growth spurt of like a foot in a year and probably 100 pounds in a year, his career really took off. So it's awesome to see him every week and be a part of it. And I just think our games are kind of the complete opposite, and that's part of why we play so well together.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's all I have. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, thanks everybody for attending today. Actually, sorry, Ripper, did you have anything? I forgot because you were talking earlier about the heartbreaking loss from 24 years ago. Ripper going once, going twice. And all right, that's it. Cool.
I'm good. I just have one more if it's okay.
Sure, Adam, why not?
Yeah, for Coach Hasen. I was just looking into it, and when it comes to forwards who were dominant at loose balls, John Tavares was one of those guys, obviously an elite scorer, just pretty decent at that too. But when it comes to, are there any similarities that you see between Connor Fields and John Tavares?
Both can control the game and take over a game at the drop of a dime. JT was a little bit different in style of play because he would get through the middle and he would be a heck of a lot more dirty than Fieldsy is, and that's no disrespect to what Fieldsy does. JT was a prick to play against, and again, he got his nose in those really, really hard areas. Fieldsy, is a great shooter. He gets through the middle, sets some picks for our guys, but he's also very cognizant, not putting himself in those spots. But that's just the style of the game. That's how the game has changed so much as well. At the end of the day, you had to be a prick to play against back in the old days because someone's going to take your head off, literally take your head off. Now it's about speed, it's about finesse, it's about athleticism, and Fields got such great feet and great vision that the game has changed so much that there's really not that good of a comparison, other than the fact that the two of them just change the game at the drop of a dime, in my opinion, anyways.
Perfect. Thank you. We'll let Coach know you said he was a nice guy on the floor.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, guys. I think that'll conclude today's media call. So, Lance, TJ, Hazer, we appreciate your time and good luck this weekend in Halifax. And thank you, everybody, for being a part of today's call.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks, guys.